I'm on a boat that is designed to expand your horizons. This is the style of boat that should take you further, go faster, and it's so capable, it allows you to do more with your day. This is the Quarken 27 cabin, but this cabin is an offset cabin, so offset to starboard with access forward and aft on port. Does that offset cabin work for you? I don't know. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through right throughout this boat, and we'll discover that together. If you're interested in how this boat drives, that's a separate video to this, and I'll link to that video at the very end of this presentation. Dan Jones is my name. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life. Walkthrough starting right now. First things first, we've got a very functional and usable sliding door here. Now, there's sliding doors and sliding doors. Some of them that I've used on boats have a tendency to jam. There's too many moving parts and they just don't seem to work. But I've used this about 6 times today, and so far, so good. And I just want you to pay attention to this. Here we go. Remember, we're only on 27-footer boats, so the space that we have is what we have. But we have this seat here at the moment in the aft-facing function. So I can have one person here, one person there, then I can have 2 people there in a social sense, enjoying ourselves. But it also converts into a forward-facing seat like that. So when you're in the forward-facing function, I'm going to show you this when we get inside the boat, you can actually expand the seat. So you can have 3 people across the back and then your 2 people up on the driver and navigator's seat up forward. So I would say this design's probably good for about 5 people, but it's in what we're seeing here, it's not just a commuter boat. It's definitely an overnight boat for 2 people and a day boat for 5 people comfortably. Yes, you could get more than that because we have some seats out the back here, but from what I see with the design, it's just sensible and functional. So let's just do this again and we'll start going through the back of the boat and showing you. Okay, there we go. So now that allows me clear access inside to the cabin, and this is what we're going to operate in a second to show you how this seat expands into the bigger function just there. But we'll just make our way through the transom just here. Excuse my voice, I've just come down with another flu. I travelled 20 hours on an aeroplane yesterday to get here, and the air conditioning has just made me sick again. So there you go. But I've got the waist out here, and then I've got the petrol in just here. I've got a little bit of storage just here, and I've got a manual bilge pump just here. This looks like a cold water only shower, just pulling out on starboard, and we've got a courtesy light on both port and starboard. I've got flexi-teak all over the decks. I love this stuff. I'm a huge fan. It's very comfortable, gives you a bit of grip, and even now, here winter starts here in Queensland in 2 days, so it is a bit nippy, but it's quite consistent with the temperature, so you can walk around barefoot as the temperature's getting colder and it's still comfortable. I've got a decent swim ladder out here on starboard. It's a proper decent one because you've got a grab handle that you can pull yourself up with, and in terms of the runs, 1, 2, 3, 4-step swim ladder. Got some cleats, stainless steel cleats out the back of the boat here, and then your typical Quarken rub rails, which now have the stainless steel caps on either end. They are about 1 inch thick and they overlap at the back of the boat here and wrap around, so you're going to have lots of protection from any objects that you come into contact with. Now we've got the really well supported ski pole just here, but really I think a lot of people are going to use it as a grab handle because it's quite practical for that, and if you are jumping off onto other boats or just boarding from in and out of the water, that's going to make a lot of sense. This seat here is definitely multi-function as well, so we just undo that little thing there and we've got fender and rope storage. Now it looks like it's supposed to be for 4 fenders, but I could only get 3 in. Maybe we've overinflated the fenders or they're just the wrong size, so just bear that in mind. But that's a good little storage area there and quite functional. Doesn't end because under the floor just here, we have a really decent size. So I put the fourth fender in here, as you'll see. Look how big that is. So obviously this is the bilge. That looks like a header tank for washing the windscreen wipers, I would say. This is probably a holding tank just here. The fuel filter, just pass me the camera and I'll just give you guys a little bit of a look at that. That's fuel filter, bilge pump just there. There are some switches just there. And going forward, that's the holding tank that I was talking about there. And that looks like an inverter charger just there. I'll give that one back to you, Jay. So that's nice. Everything is accessible and you're not, you're not limited in terms of your access. And this theme continues. This is something I did notice on the other Quarken, the T-top. They've just thought about everything in the construction of the boat in terms of servicing and later on in life when you need to get access for repairs and that sort of thing. Okay, let's have a look in here, because 1, 2, 3 batteries, really well placed and easy to get to, just on the side of the boat there. Now, I have a feeling they put these batteries here for a reason, because she's an offset cabin. That's going to push a bit of weight to that side of the boat. So perhaps by mounting the batteries here, they have balanced the boat out a little bit. And it did feel like that when we were underway. So that's just a little observation there, but that was quite clever. Shore power in here. I would say this would be good for some ropes. You get a few lines in here. Obviously, I put some lines in there as well, but if you need easy access, that makes sense to have them in there. And shore power cable possibly could also go in there as well. So let's just make our way forward. In terms of my safety factor, that's pretty easy to reach. I'm 5'7" and I can reach it, so most people will be okay with that. Anyone taller, not going to have an issue, but if you were shorter, you could actually just put your hand in under here, because that's a bit of a grab handle as well. And then when you get to midships, you've actually got a built-in step here. So if you were stepping off onto another boat or just getting off the dock, that's totally doable. That's not bad. Midships cleat just here. And then here is our access into the cabin. So I think we'll just go straight in there and show you guys what it's all about. We'll go to the helm. Now, this is becoming a bit of a theme for Quarken, and what do I mean by that? High quality. A feeling of high, exceptional quality is what you get when you get in here. Just everything's just done to a very, very good standard. But the cabin itself, and just pan around here, Jay, so everyone can see, the visibility is great. It really is. So underway, you can actually just sit and drive. You don't need to be sitting and standing and moving yourself around all the time, because you've just got this wonderful picture out and around you. The heel angles are pretty moderate. This isn't the raciest of boats. I'm going to describe this as like a conservative family boat. If you're someone who wants to take your wife and kids out and they don't want to be scared, perhaps this is a good boat to own, because some boats are really aggressive in the way they drive. Excuse me, coughing. I just can't do anything about this cold, guys. But this Quarken is quite family friendly. I think family friendly is the word I'm going to use. It will still do 43.5 knots, but it's completely dry ride. It's a very soft running boat. It's quite predictable. It's a bit slow and steady in the way she turns. So if you are either new to adventure boats or you have other people to consider in your boating day, I think this is a good option for you. But in terms of what we have here at the helm, so we just have a sliding window, because no side deck on starboard. I can reach the midships cleat just here. But then in terms of what I have at the dash, first thing, it's nice to have this ledge here, because if you're bouncing through waves, as we were, because we just took it out in the ocean, you actually rest your arm just there, and then you can operate the throttle, and going through waves with your arm attached to something is a much easier, more ergonomic way to do it. got your safety just there. We have another little ledge here. I don't actually know what you would do with that, but I guess there's something. And then the helm itself got a decent size drink holder here and one for the navigator. I've got my phone charging station just here, so I can just put my phone just there. That works like so. Power on and off for the Yamaha 300, and then I've got my trim tabs just next to that, and they've got auto, or you can operate them in manual as well. The steering wheel adjusts. You've got about that much movement there. So if you were a bigger person, you needed more space between you and the seat, that's one way to achieve that. But this seat should also go forward and back. So if I just have a look under here, yeah. So this seat, by the way, this is quite nice material. What do you call this? Like macro suede or something? I'm not too sure. But this one looks like it goes forward and aft, and this one looks like it spins around. So I think this one goes forward and aft and spins around. We'll check that out in a second. And this one definitely goes forward and aft. And then if we just check out some of the features on the helm, they've managed to put the stereo in its own little place just here, which looks kind of cool. All the boat systems are here. This is the anchor operation up and down. This is the bow thruster, which we have used, and it's pretty effective. And then we've got flush mounted 2 Garmin displays, one here and one here, and that is the Yamaha digital diagnostics with fuel flow just in the middle of the display just there. We've got a Ritchie compass forward of that, and then all of this is a matte finish, so you're not going to get any reflection because this goes all the way forward, and that's quite clean. That works. 2 windscreen wipers, 2 speakers, got a couple of downlights forward of that, and this massive excuse me, a massive opening sunroof, which slides quite easily, because we did do that before. Go that way. Wait a sec. Okay, I'm not going to try and do that. I think I've just locked it. Wait a sec. I did. I locked it. Okay. So that's the lock. Just remember to do that first, and then that slides back and forth like that, and then you can let some air in and vent the cabin. Okay, so let's just check out some of this stuff as we go aft. A little bit of storage underneath the helm for bits and pieces, next to the driver's seat, and also some charging. And you do have a footrest for the navigator just here. But what I noticed, same as on the T-top, another footrest just here. And then underneath the driver, you've got quite a deep storage locker. So that's going to be great for a safety grab bag. I would keep that there, so it's next to the helm in a sensible place. I don't actually know what's under here, so it's... Okay, so there must be an option to do a sink, because otherwise, why would you have that flip up? I'm guessing that's an option. But your fridge, your Dometic fridge, is just here, and it's just a small one with a little freezer drawer in it as well. So that's fine for a day's worth of drinks, which is all that you need. So now I want to operate this. So just get all this in shot, Jay, and I'm going to... So that goes up. So see how it's got 2 supports? So you just lift it up, and then you just push this like that, and then that becomes the backrest for this seat. And in here, you have, see these cushions? These cushions just go in here. Like so. And then that becomes the 3rd seat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what made me think this makes sense for 5 people for a day of running around, because it's quite logical in that layout. Yes, we can get 2 more people out the back behind us. Got a couple of drink holders there, a little bit more storage on the starboard side as well, and a footrest. Note that they've managed to hide the structural integrity quite well. We've got these supports here and here. They don't get in your line of sight whatsoever. I think they've done that quite nicely. A couple of downlights here, some textured finish. I think that's everything. But yeah, look at the amount of space I've got. I'm only on a 27-foot boat, remember, guys. You know, you come to a place like this, like where we are right now, and you go, what a lovely afternoon, let's just stay the night, which is what a boat like this gives you an option to do. So we will check this accommodation out in 1 second, but I think we go forward first and just check out the bow. So, similar to the T-top, which we've checked out, we have this lovely forward-facing lounge. That's super comfy. Got a nice angle on it, and you can hold on to this rail just here. But there's a table which slots in here, which can also convert this whole area into a bed. So that table will then drop down, sit on these ledges just here, and this whole thing turns into a sunbed. So that's quite nice. These are the windscreen wipers. I just want to point out, stainless steel just there. So that's going to last a lot longer than the mild steel ones. And if we just have a look forward, we've got offset windlass to port, allowing us easy access through the middle when you're boarding people on and off the beach. So that's kind of handy. There is an option to fit a bow ladder on this boat if you want to make it a little bit easier to get on and off the sand. The leg for the table, which slots in there, it stows just here. And then you got a speaker, you got courtesy lights, nav lights, and then you got one super weird thing. Come and have a look at this bolt here. Can anyone guess what this is? I certainly had no idea. So apparently, in some countries, you need to lock your boat up. So that's for a chain. So who would ever need to lock their boat up? I've never heard of that. Obviously, we don't have that problem here, but that's kind of funny. So that's all pretty cool. Let's just have a bit of a look up on the roof first. And actually, you can walk down starboard. Just have a look, poke the camera out here, Jay. So if you were, if you're fit and well balanced, you can actually do this. This does work because this grab handle is so, it's going all the way to the back of the boat. Look, so that is possible. Just don't go sending someone who's not sure-footed up here. Fresh water in, and this roof, just looking at it, is going to lend itself quite well towards roof racks and surfboards, I think. So if you just put a little cross member there from these grab handles and another one towards the back, you're definitely going to get some stand-up paddle boards up here, no problems. You could even just load them up here and strap them down as it is, but you couldn't operate the sunroof if you were doing that. So if you wanted to still operate the sunroof and let air in and out, then I would probably add something across the top to raise the height and get the surfboards off the sunroof. If that didn't bother you, leave the sunroof closed and just chuck them on the roof, and she's fine. Let's go downstairs and have a look at the accommodation. So welcome downstairs, guys. This is for a 27-foot boat. She's really punching above its weight. It's quite spacious. It feels luxurious. And for two people, if you're using this boat as an overnighter, you're going to have everything you need. So let's just give you a feel for this bed just here. I'll put my feet all the way on the bulkhead just here. And that's me lying down. I'm at 5'7". And so, 6 foot plus people, no problems. And then the taller person would make sense for them to be on the port side. Just above me here, I've got a forward-facing hatch. This is an escape hatch, but that's perfect for ventilation. And it does have a fly screen as well. We've got some textured roof finishing in here, so it's nice. This timber board on either side completes the bed a little bit, but it's also got some strip lighting on either side, and you probably could put phones and things on either side there too, and they're just going to stay out of the bed. But just here we have a loo. So that is in a seat function at the moment, but the seat pops up and you've got your loo with holding tank, which we saw before just back in the back of the boat. That's your loo roll holder. Have a little bit of spare loo rolls and cleaning gear in there. Decent sized sink, cold water only. Got some charging there. That's 240, so that's going to be offshore power only, I imagine. a light in here. You do have a little privacy screen, which just clips on and pulls around this whole area here. I feel like if you're going to be using this toilet, it's going to be in the day boat function, but you do you. And you've even got a reading light just up here on the starboard side. So you could pad this area with cushions, and of an evening, if you wanted to, you can read a book. Down like here and here as well. Not bad, you know. Let's sit on this. So, you know, you could even sit here and put your shoes on as well. Let's just have a look underneath this cushion and see what we find. Okay, so a couple of access panels which are screwed down. So I'm guessing there's tankage and batteries for bow thruster and the bow thruster itself underneath there, but I can't get into there, so I can't tell you for sure. And the window on starboard, just look through the window. That's going to be your view of a morning when you wake up. How nice is that? And then on the port side, you also have a window, but it's just a little bit smaller. So look at that. Lovely. So guys, this is what the Quarken 27 cabin will do for you. Allow you to come to places like this, kick back and enjoy life how you see fit. Having a capable hull, the protection of a cabin means that you can go summer or winter, keep your family dry, and just expand your horizons. Does the offset cabin work? Well, I think it does. You know, the looks, well, that's up to you, but the functionality, it definitely works. For groups of 2 to 5 people, this really is excellent. Remember, we're only on a 27-foot boat. The quality is some of the best I've seen, so I really can't knock the quality. It's fantastic. The functionality for 27 feet in a cabin version, it's great. Like, if you're just going out with you and a partner for overnights, you're going to have the best times. And if you're taking groups of, say, 5 people for the days, it's totally going to work too. So yeah, if you're looking for something that's just going to expand those horizons, that's super, super sensible, conservative is a word that I'm going to throw in there as well, but you could still do your 43 knots and your 30 knot cruising speed and go out in the ocean and stay dry, then check out the Quarken 27 cabin. I think it will be a good use of your time.